everyone, and welcome to another thrilling episode of the Doomsayers. With in mind, I am your humble MC for these preceding evenings, and with we got a lovely cast here, a lovely bunch of folks here. So, without further ado, we'll do some introductions. First off, Kai, start us off. Introduce yourself and who you're playing.
Hi everyone, I'm Kai. I use he, they, and she pronouns, and tonight I am back as Merrick, also known as Patroclus, who uses he, him pronouns, and he's just having a great time in the underworld and doesn't absolutely hate it here. Yeah.
Lovely, lovely. Next up should be Calamity.
Me? I think it's me.
Yeah,
hey,
I think
hi.
it's you.
I'm Calamity. My pronouns are she, they. Today I will be playing Mallory, who is question mark, and getting her kid. She's getting her kid. That's a given. But home question mark, we'll see. I don't know. But it's a good time. I think it's Val next.
It is indeed Mr. Valiant Dorian next. Hello, everybody. My name is Valiant Dorian. I use him as pronouns. You can find me on the internet at Valiant Dorian or also Spirit Bear. Please enjoy that lovely treasure I just set you on. Tonight, I am playing Hector of Troy, the Hector of Troy, in a STNX. I guess I'm Hector and a STNX. Kind of fucked about that, actually. So, I'm going to pass it on back to our MC over there.
And that's the default energy we bring here. Hello, everyone. I am your MC for these preceding evenings. Now, before we start our lovely journey here, a couple things to keep in mind. First and foremost, content warnings. If you missed those bad boys at the front of this, you can type !DoomCW to get all the content warnings for this episode in particular. In case you missed it, I'll read it out for you here. This AP episode in particular contains fantasy and gun violence, apocalypse, romance, and references to sexual entanglements, monsters and monstrosities, severe weather, blood, real-world religions, familiar struggles, trauma, McCarthyism, mind and memory manipulation, depictions of kidnapping, crime, supernatural, mythological elements, murder, and suicidal ideation. If any of this does not float your boat, there's a plethora of wonderful content out there for you to enjoy. Also, if you want to follow me or any of my lovely cast members on where you can find them on the social medias, !Doomcast, and you'll find them out there on the internet. With all that in mind, I think it's time we start the episode. So with that, we're going to do the intro right quick, and we'll be right back, folks. We shall... As we return back on our Doomsayers, the sound of the rocks behind just settling ever so slightly from the recent explosion. That doesn't really matter in this instance, as there's a bigger problem before you. The impossible is in front of you. The unimaginable is in front of you. Eris, goddess of chaos, a being who waged war a long time ago, who presumably was imprisoned, is walking about and lost an arm? Strange. But I want to get in the mindset of one person here, as everybody doesn't really know who this is for the most part. Merrick, what's going through your mind as you see Eris standing before you? A vision of war, as always.
Val. Huh. Look at Val, say Val. Merrick is suddenly like gravity is gone. Like he's falling. But he's seeing this memory of the last time what sounded like a hollow threat came out of his mouth to their face. The 1000th time that he said that I'm just going to leave. And then he finally did. And he can feel every word that he ever said against the Sovereigns, against Eris. And the years he spent in Ironport avoiding every single person that she ever associated with, every person he ever knew. Because fear like none other hits Merrick as he looks into Eris's eyes. And he starts to ever so slightly tremble and step back.
You see Eris looks at you, not with any sort of mischief or delight, but of like a stern look a parent gives to a child they're disappointed in, before looking back to the rest of you. Hector, I thought you were better than that. You seem to be lacking.
Me?
Yes, you, Hector.
Me? No. Hector's dazed still, I think, from the interaction before. And as he's brought back to here, and now with the sound of the crumbling rocks, the heavy silence, the stunned silence in this place, Hector just kind of like snaps his gaze over to Eris. And I thought you were gone. Guess we can all be surprised.
My disappearance was exaggerated.
Clearly.
What do you... You see, at this point, Set goes, well. It is a pleasure to see you once again, mistress. Though I am concerned. What are you doing here? Are you... kind of pokes at their skin. Dead? No, I'm not dead. I'm simply here to retrieve something I lost.
Merrick steps further back. I think he trips a little on some of the stone that's on the ground even. That fear is controlling and driving every inch of him as he stumbles backward, because suddenly he's very afraid that he is about to fail every promise he ever made to Achilles, because he will no longer be able to save them.
They give you a glance and just chuckle to themselves. Not for you, little pup. I'm here for my armor. It was taken and stored somewhere in the underworld. I assume within the palace.
Hector turns to Set and mutters, "Am I to believe that you knew nothing of this? Of her?"
Don't look at me. I didn't know anything. I mean, last I heard...
Bullshit!
Okay, a little bit harsh on the words, are we? And you see kind of approaches. Athena kind of approaches too. I do have to conclude. We thought Eris was trapped within some sort of prison that mortals made. I'm surprised they're walking about and also have lost an arm. The Eris kind of, it's a long story. But, well, we're here now, and it is a pleasure to meet you. As you see, they walk over to you, Mallory. You look just like your father, and seem to have his demeanor as well. A compliment in both regards.
Thank you. I guess.
A little birdie told me you lost a child. Is that true?
We're getting him back. No doubt about it. Why?
Well, I think it is a perfect time for us to have a little bit of an alliance, if you will. I know the way to get to the palace undetected, and clearly, you have a mighty need to get there.
Mallory will look back towards Hector and Merrick, kind of like glance between them to kind of get a read, because she's definitely noticed that, at least especially Merrick is uncomfortable. So I think she'll kind of glance at them to kind of see their reaction to what Eris says.
Hector has been...
Only one
Sorry, no. Marek should react first, actually.
The only person here who's ever seen Merrick this afraid was Hector, the day that he killed Patroclus.
Okay, fuck you too, Kai. Fuck. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay.
Love you.
Oh, all right. Hector already was unsettled before. Like, he's the Hector you've known up to this point. If he's anything, he's one word, and that's steady. He is not steady anymore. He is extremely untethered. And the appearance of the goddess of strife has not made that any better. He kind of like stuffs one hand into a pocket. He pushes back all the long locks of his hair, and the second he does that, you see like a weird recoil of doing that. There's this sort of dissonance and incongruency and unsteadiness that's taking hold of Hector in this moment. He is uncomfortable, but you also see the furrowing of his brow, the pinching of his nose bridge. He probably doesn't see another way around this either. And he kind of like glances over to Patroclus and Mallory before asking, "So, an alliance with the goddess of strife. What of after, once you have your armor? What chaos will you wreak then, and will we be in your crash zone?"
They get uncomfortably close to you. They are taller than you, so they have to sort of bend down and look at you. I'm not the goddess of chaos anymore.
What the fuck?
I don't cause chaos. I try to live among mortals. Had a good thing going. And then a group of assholes took it from me.
You're trying to bring back the sovereigns? That's really your fucking plan?
My plan is vengeance and justice.
So what? I help you and then you kill me?
The work over to you. Always the wolf, so scared of me.
You made me.
I made you stronger. I made you of bronze and steel. I see what is before me is made of paper mache.
Because you never made good on your promise. You never knew where he was. You didn't fix fucking anything. You just wanted to destroy the world. And as he says that, he begins to glow that otherworldly red again. His eyes turn to gold. And a part of him falls away. Another layer as he becomes this feral wolf. This mange begins to grow around his neck, and he almost seems to elongate his features. Red skin, gray hair, golden eyes, just for a moment as you see the true form that hides inside of the man. A Vrikolakos. A creature made by Lycan, who we met.
Do you think you scare me with your fangs and your fur? I'm not little fucking Riding Hood. I'm a god. And I do not want to fight you. Not because it is an inconvenience to my plan, not because you betrayed me and stabbed me in the back, but because you are not worth my time. We have a goal. We can achieve it together. Then we don't have to see each other.
Patroclus.
Fine. Fine. Why the fuck not this?
Good boy.
Steady, steady.
I would advise, if you are to continue with us, you keep infuriating my companions at a low. I'd like to get through this smoothly and quickly. If you're willing to do that, and you keep your promise, we can work together.
Truly, a ruler indeed. I should take your counsel. Heir to the throne. If you all be so kind, if we are done with the showmanship of manhood, I know the way. Follow me.
Merrick tucks tail. Bows his head. And goes to worry over that pearl earring that he wears, and it's not there. Gone with other parts of who he was.
Eris goes forward, followed closely by Set, who is a little bit more fanboy now. You know that he was very much of a eccentric nature, very much you don't know what's going on, but the appearance of someone they have been with, it's almost like re-inspiring them as he, please, mistress, I am happy to help, and kind of goes onto the side, groveling. Athena, though, is a little pensive on the side, goes over to you, Hector. We must be careful with that one.
I know,
Trouble.
I know, goddess. I know. Athena knows that he says that he has the voice of a prince, the voice of a commander, the standing of a general. But his soul, whatever piece that Athena wrenched from Elysium to put into this flesh, is shaking. It's wobbly. This interaction with Eris, seeing the look on Patroclus's face, a look he knows well, a gaze that's burned into his memory for all of eternity. He's killed so many men, but his will always be in his mind till the end of the world's days. And seeing that again here and now in the body of another, the Prince of Troy is rattled.
Hector, are you there?
Yes, goddess.
Do not lose your head. I know that you have a troubled past with this individual, causing the Battle of Troy and all that, for games and whatnot, but we must stay focused. There is one way forward, and it is a narrow path. Now, we shall go, we shall continue, and we will get that second frame and also, in the process, get the child. But the frame is our priority. We must remember this.
And he exhales, and the commander is back. The prince is back. Your will be done, goddess, as you say.
Good. I shall continue forward. Make sure you gather your companions in the right of mind. The last thing I need is Merrick fucking it up, so get the wolf in line.
Patroclus. And he steps back and he kind of like walks in step with you.
He is nearly dragging himself forward as he lights a cigarette and holds it in those wolf-like teeth that he's had this whole time, but now they seem to fit his form. What?
Checking you're still there.
Do I look like I'm still there? And he looks at Hector straight in the eyes. Those golden eyes, glassy with tears of fear, of terror, of loneliness, of the price of selling your soul to save the one you love and failing.
Despite everything? Yes.
You know, it would have been easier if you were an asshole.
It would have been easier if you were less kind.
And he stops for a minute, still longing for that familiar feeling, that pearl earring, that token of memory recreated so that he could hold it again. And he can almost feel it as it blooms out of him and appears on his chest. The pearl. Bigger, more natural, hung on just simple hand-spun cord around his neck. He wore this before. He wore it when you saw him the first time, Hector.
I remember it well.
And he holds it like he has never seen it, but it has always been so needed, so a part of him. And it shimmers ever so slightly in gold. as around the wolf, around this changed monstrous man, a sheen of gold, the ashes of the one who loves him still, wrapped in his soul. And through all of that, he trudges forward like he is Atlas, carrying the world, smoking a cigarette. You mean to say you don't want to kill her too?
Oh. Oh, that is not what I'm saying at all. No, sorry. But, Patroclus, mortals undid her before. And mortals can do it again. One wrong move, and I'm on your side.
We made a promise. And he looks forward to Mallory. That's what I'm here to do.
Yes. Let's get out of this fucking place.
And
As
he
you two.
smiles and steps forward, and as he does, he steps out of the last of the fear that was holding him, and he sheds a layer still, one that was clinging, and beneath the jacket that just kind of flutters away into the underworld, Patroclus, wearing simple garb, a well-loved chiton from the time before, something he would have just worn around camp. A simple man, not in armor. A man there to care, there to be with the soldiers that he cared for, the man that he loved. You see Patroclus smoking a cigarette and walking through the underworld.
There he is. Hector thinks to himself, there is that man. Before
Your wife.
watching forward. Oh fuck. Okay,
Forms
yeah,
on the
do that.
side.
Do that, you stupid motherfucker. Yeah, do that to me, why don't you?
Yeah. As you are saying this in your mind, you go, pity. Maybe we could have been friends.
Yeah.
Maybe we should put him out of his misery. It's a wise course of actions. How much of a man is even left, sweetheart?
You're not here, are you?
I am always here. Do not insult.
You're not her, are you?
They turn around and look you in the eyes. You preach to me of falsehoods, yet you wear our boy's skin. Who's the more fucked up one, my love?
It all started with me.
And it all can end with
I will not do that to our boy.
my sweet prince. What boy? As they dissipate. Mallory, I think you catch the glimpse of not the whole conversation, but very much Hector talking to himself. You're muted, I believe.
Is there a way? Because I feel like Mallory has seen Hector talk to something, a couple times now,
multiple times.
I would say.
In the corner at the party.
Very directly to
Holding
like,
an arm of someone who doesn't exist.
I'm
Yeah.
like, can I try to see if I can detect who he's talking to?
Sure. I'm going to say, I'll give you an option here. This is either going to be either you take a risk or you face danger. I will say taking the risk, you'll get a little bit more information, while facing danger, you're kind of like you'll get an understanding, but not necessarily anything too deep.
What do you mean by take a risk, though?
Take a risk would be very much of like, think of it as, if we're going by 5 years, it's like read thoughts. Take a risk is very much of like going really in depth, and you can get to understanding what exactly Hector is saying and what his whole situation is to a high detail in terms of like, you'll know a lot about what's going on. Versus facing danger, well, you'll kind of have a blanket understanding of what it is, but not necessarily how to either solve it or understand it.
I think I will, in that case, take a risk.
Take a risk, all right. Let's see what you're rolling.
Okay.
Reminder that the burn mechanic does exist in this.
Not one of
That's
you
true.
used it.
We have not used it
I
yet.
never used it.
I fear it. That's why.
I do fear it. I also fear it. Okay. Let's go with
I'm scared for you.
take it to the grave.
Okay.
Unfinished business really seems to apply
Jesus
here.
fucking Christ, yeah.
Underworld contact.
This would be a great time to use it.
Yeah. Do it.
If I okay, I was like, I feel like this is a good
Hey.
idea.
This is
So
worth
we'll
it.
use-
This is worth
We'll
it.
use those.
Let me
All
click
right.
it, Jesus.
Because my mobility stuff. Yeah, my mobility stuff doesn't apply here. Come on.
I'm gonna fight my Excel sheet.
11.
11. Look at you go, kiddo.
We're gonna have
With
a,
that,
we're gonna dive into fucking Hector's psyche. We have like jumping into the brain sequence.
Let's go.
kind of walking up, everybody does begin to walk, and you're kind of not necessarily approaching Hector yet, kind of just behind him. You begin to open your eyes up to something you have kind of restrained yourself again. And as you do, you can see almost like a holographic, almost like thermal in a sense, the crack that forms in Hector's front chest. And inside of it, almost like a cosmos opening up, you can see this looming figure that shadows over him, whispering everywhere. And from what you see and your understanding, if Hector's traded bodies a lot, then he keeps getting almost like a hard drive in a sense. He keeps getting backed up, restored, backed up, restored, backed up, restored. But you can see there's a problem in a sense of having to cutting something open and placing it into something new constantly creates a bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger tear, which opens up parts of his psyche that he doesn't acknowledge. You don't know exactly what exactly this thing is a representative of, but you do understand it is a negative emotion that has haunted Hector for all of these centuries, that has grown to a point that is able to influence his actions.
For now, Mallory will keep that to herself. Though the form doesn't look like anyone in particular. It's just like a dark sort of
It's like this, a
presence.
very much like elongated humanoid shadow claws, but an over sense of heat that comes off of it, almost like if the thing is on fire constantly.
Okay. Yeah, she'll kind of keep that to herself, especially with her kind of new information about Athena and not really feeling so great about her anymore. But she will definitely take note and keep probably a little more aware of anytime Hector like talks to himself.
You would have definitely have heard because he said that, I think, unintentionally loud. I think the rest of the earlier part of the conversation when he's questioning Andromache, and I'm saying Andromache in like inverted commas, Andromache. He's quieter, almost like he was testing for himself if the vision he is seeing is real and not just a manifestation of his psyche. But the last line that he says of "I will not do that to our boy," he does say louder, like he is talking to someone. So you would have heard it.
Okay. I think she'll kind of like linger back near like Merrick and Hector if they stay together.
Fantastic. With that in mind, you proceed further into the depths of the sewers that run underneath the city. Going through, you find that you switch in between new systems and old systems. As you can tell by the bricklayering, some of this is more newly made sewage and sort of tunnels, while other ones are older. And you seem to be going further and further more into an older than anything. And at a certain point, you see Eris with their one arm hold you up, very much in military formation, even though most of you don't get it. It's very much of like, has to like tell you all to stop. And with that, they begin to caress their one arm across a pile of rocks, brick, until one of them you see it begins to transform into this sort of hole or lock of some sort. And at that point, Eris goes in their satchel, kind of pulls out what looks like to be an old key of some sort, and begins to. And at this point, you see the rocks begin to. And a form of old stairs going up begin to form. They kind of go off to the side. Okay. This should lead us up to Hades' palace. Primarily, that is where your son should be, that is where your frame should be, and the escape. Oh.
And your armor.
And my armor. Very astute. With that, I suggest we split up. If we want to cover all this ground, doing it as a team isn't going to be as easy. Now, I'm going for my armor, which means that your frame will be in the same place, so whoever is so keen can follow. You see, Athena, I will follow you suit, my dear. Anybody else?
Hector looks over to Athena. I made an oath to the Swan Goddess. I'll see her son return to her.
Understandable, Hector. Understandable. Fantastic. So, I am guessing Mallory and Hector are gonna go find the child. Set gonna go, so I will go find the way out. I am very astute with portals. Fantastic, which leaves us only with my lovely protege. What are you going to do?
Merrick looks to Mallory. Mallory, who paid such a high price for us to be here. Mallory, whose domain this is supposed to be. And with pleading eyes of a tired man stuck in a decades-long war. He just asks, "Do you need me?"
Yes.
Then I go where I'm needed. And a gentle smile crosses his lips. He likes being needed. He likes helping.
Eris takes note. Fine. I suggest you hurry along. We'll do our best to be quick, quiet, and efficient. Set, find us a portal to the... Hopefully it will be. Set, find a portal quickly to the mortal plane. Back to the city, preferably. My pleasure, mistress. Anything for you. Rest of you don't get killed. Let's go. And they proceed to go up the stairs. Set following suit. And as you guys kind of begin to come out, you see one of the nearby walls begins to form out. And as you sort of get into it, you find yourself in what looks like to be a hallway, though a bit weird. It seems like it is in the transition of still switching stuff out in terms of if a new set of homeowners came along. As you can see, there are mixtures of portraitures of Hades and Persephone and their sort of regalness and painted depictions throughout time. But there also seems to be what you can really only describe as theater objects. You can see there are boxes of like costumes and other lighting and whatnot, very much of like this place being retrofitted into a place to come to, rather a place to live in. That is littered about this place, and a bit of dust comes up as you have to hold yourself to it, as this entrance hasn't been used in some time. But you find yourself at the precipice of a three-way section here, and with that, Athena and Eris go forward. To the right, Set in a almost jackal-like way begins to make their way through, laughing ever so slightly to themselves. And for you, it seems that left is your direction. What are we doing, Doomsayer?
Merrick goes first. Patroclus steps forward. And as he does, as he assumes this position of being needed, a spear, long and golden, is pulled from the golden ether around him and the shield on his arm as he steps forward to protect the way for one of the rulers of the underworld.
And Hector takes the rear. Once more, pulling his right spear from his neck. There is a wince as he does so. And a summoning of a shield onto his arm. And as the two hoplites now equipped with their weapons, Hector looks to Mallory. How many guards? You know the way?
Things could be very different now. I don't know. But I think a good place to start be the room that used to be mine.
Lovely, lovely. Are you going to say anything before we continue here, Hector? Nope.
Nope.
All right, I'm going to need stealth checks from all of you, so sneak around if you be so kind.
I guess we're sneaking. I love
Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
when we sneak things, and I realize that I don't have a lot of sneak stuff.
You're real subtle.
I'm as subtle as a fucking jackhammer. Like, let's see. Well, I got a couple of things that'll be very helpful here. I'm going to use Poised Amidst Doom, Agile Hoplite, Venerated Protector, and Divine Sense, because we're looking for a little demigod baby.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
I don't think I'm going to give you any negatives here, because you're not really plagued by regret right now.
No, I'm plagued by something else, aren't I?
Yeah, it's a little bit deeper than regret. So you're fine.
Oh, actually,
you're good.
That's fun. I think what I will do then. Yeah. Fuck, let's do this. I'm gonna use one of my advancements that I've gotten
Okay.
to give myself a new weakness for you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, City of Mist.
The City of Mist, and I'm going to call it A Father's Love.
Hey, Val. Ow.
Don't worry about it.
Put a little exclamation point because I'm excited. With that,
Let's see how this goes.
-1, so 3 plus 3 to your thing here.
+3, alright.
Yep.
Okay. That's a 10.
That's 10. All right, so you're good. Next up, Mariko, how about you? What are you using?
Voyager of the Underworld. A body remade by ash and mud.
Yep.
Friendly shadows.
Yep.
Always beside him.
Mm-hmm.
Wrought in war and sated by heroic deeds.
All right, look at you. Look at you.
Sneaking around with my boyfriend's gear.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I stole his little
Uh-oh.
hoodie. Oh.
Uh-oh. That is a 14.
Fantastic, good. All right, Mallory, it's all on you now.
So I had chosen spectral movement. What remains is a shadow.
Mm-hmm.
They're my world. And how did you get there?
Okay.
Then I rolled a 12.
Okay.
So
What the fuck? Let's go.
that's a 16 as well. Yeah.
So,
We're
like
sneaky.
a SEAL team, you all begin to very much, 2 half-lights front and back, begin to go forward. In this old place, and for you, Mallory, in particular, the memories are a little bit hard to recollect. But you tried to see if you were running this way up the stairs, and as you do, turning the corner, you have to stop everyone. As you notice that one of the Furies comes back down, talking to what looks like Orpheus. Orpheus very much in his usual getup, though seems to be preparing something. Did you find them? Well, we tried our best, but they got the better of us. Eris is here. You see, kind of... Doesn't matter. Find them. And don't worry, the Oracle's taking care of the child. Just focus. Anything, my liege. And with that, you see Orpheus dissipates, and the Fury begins to flies off the balcony into what looks like to be an open atrium of some sort. But with that,
Patroclus just mouths the Oracle at the other two.
Oh my god. Hector also wants to do that. So you just see on either side of you, Mallory, the boys look to you, mouthing the Oracle.
crazy thing. With that, not really knowing what to do with that information, you proceed forward into it. And since you all rolled so high, don't really encounter any resistance. But as you're going into the atrium, you can see that the throne room has been retrofitted into a theater stage. You can see that the rigging itself is melted, very much recently welded. The lights are being tested at this moment. And even though you are a little bit up, maybe on the second, third floor, you do see Set kind of going off to the side, and looks like maybe behind stage seems to be where these portals are, where the exit is. He slinks his way forward, as there seems to be just shades working on everything and making sure everything's set. To be honest, it looks like an ass backwards Macbeth. But
What do you think?
interesting.
Go ahead, Chris.
Nope, that's it. That was it for me. Just go if you're gonna say go.
No. I think Hector like sees the scenario and like looks over to Mallory because, for good or for ill, this is her domain. As far as Hector is concerned, he is just your right hand.
We're bodyguards.
Yeah, you point, I stab. So you see him kind of like playing with the spear between the different grips that you can use in wielding it, and it's just looking at you, waiting for your signal on how we proceed forward.
We need to find Ennd.
I have an idea. I have a really bad idea. Patroclus.
Jumps.
Patroclus starts to sniff the air, and you've seen him do this a few times at this point, as he is looking for a thread of fate, specifically one that might tie Mallory to Ennd. And even though the last time he touched it, it burned his hand so badly that he basically hasn't even attempted since. This is his domain. This is what he can do. He can read the threads of fate, and what is more fated than a parent's attachment to their child?
If you be so kind, roll me a quick investigate.
This episode should be called "Fuck You, Val." Making me feel sad and feeling.
Yep, I'm gonna
Fuck
make
you,
you feel
Val.
sad,
Fuck
Val.
you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Fuck you, Val. Love you.
Val.
Okay, gonna do, carrion dogs were sniffing it out. Hunger for scraps of destiny, sated by heroic deeds. And I think that's it.
All right.
But I'm going to. Oh, it doesn't have to do with that. Never mind. I'm not going to use that. I have an improvement for a tag that I'm not using. It's fine.
Okay.
Fine. It's okay, Dad.
Ooh. An 8.
An
I have to do
8.
math.
Fantastic. Should be 11 if I'm not mistaken, if it's an 8. Or is that 8 in total?
No, it's 8 total.
Okay. So, with that in mind, you get. Just double checking. Been a while, folks. Just relearning my mind. Something will happen when you ask these questions, but you can ask 3 questions essentially. So I know your first one being where exactly is Ennd,
Yes.
or his thread. You immediately are able to pull it out, and as you do, you can see sort of almost like a clairvoyance from Skyrim, very much of like this path of golden string light begins to lead you forward.
I think as he pulls on this is a feeling, a sentiment that he does not interact with, like, ever. But as he does, he can see that thread, and just kind of is almost startled to see it, honestly. But he pulls on something that I don't think either of you can see, but runs his hand through what he can see as that thread and just kind of follows it down and then points for the others to kind of see the direction that he's looking. But I think he's also startled to see one hanging off of Hector, and even one hanging off of himself. These threads.
I will say, just to add a little spice to this, when you look over to Mallory, there is, yes, the connection to their child, but there seems to be two more. One seems to be ghostly in nature, hanging off to somewhere down below. And there's another one, strangely similar to the one of flames that burned you first, as it is connected directly into Mallory in this moment. Something you haven't seen before. Usually these threads, they're gone, or they burn something upon touch, but it seems to be attached to Mallory.
I think you all just see his eyes get kind of big as he's looking at this.
Is everything okay?
What do you see?
There's a big problem with threads of fate burning, but usually they don't stay. And he just points at Mallory. Does it seem to be leading somewhere, this burning?
They're very
thread?
much like, almost like Christmas carols, very much like they're connected to something.
To something? Yeah.
But it's somewhere around.
That's something to follow up on, I think, because that's concerning.
Alright, one
And he
problem
kind of
at a
refuses
time.
to look down at the ones that would be bound to him, and kind of starts to release that a little bit. But I think he looks at Hector, holding this question in his head of what he knows has been going on with Hector. Is there like a loop, a knot, something odd about his fate threads?
Oh god,
I'm
how
gonna
fucked up
s-
are
I'm
my
gonna
fate
say-
threads?
This will be another burn point here for your question. So if you want the answer to this, you gotta burn another
Yes.
one. So you'll be
Yes.
at one. Okay.
God,
Yes.
what are you doing?
Guy, what are you doing? These resources. Going about, it is almost like in a sense of tinsel that's spiral. There is sort of almost around them to the point of like, it looks a little bit like barbed wire, as it looks like almost like his own regular threads are being cut upon touching this barbed wire that is around him.
Vile. After giving Mallory such a strange look, he looks over at Hector, and you see his eyes just completely shocked. It's not like, oh, that's dangerous and kind of scary looking as to what's going on with Mallory. This is like, oh, that's bad. Like, I'm sorry. That looks rough, bud.
Hector looks at you
Got your
confused, is like, what? Why are you looking at me like that?
You know, usually when people rend their threads and give away the parts of their destiny, they don't then wrap back on themselves. And tie in knots and... Wow. I don't think I could eat you if I tried.
Like, Hector's face went like ghostly pale for a moment, like the puzzle pieces are setting in his mind and he is like unfurling even more, and then you say that and he just looks at you with like a quizzical look. It's like, I hope you weren't planning on that before. What?
I mean, it doesn't kill you. It's just how I maintain my divinity. All right, Enid's that way. Is there anything else that Table, do you have any questions or clues that you think we should suss out before we leave this space?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Dope.
Okay. Then the last question that he will kind of resolve is I think a long time ago he came here. And this theater is obviously different. He knows who Orpheus is. Is this Orpheus's doing?
Yes. This wasn't a theater at all. This was the throne room. This was the throne room which Hades will take questions. The thing that you can't get an answer to is, why the fuck is he doing this? Why put theatrics on top of this? There's a reason why you just don't know. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, it's up to you to decide. But for the most part, it seems the production's gonna be following suit here, and who the star is gonna be, you don't know.
This place has always been a place for stories, but more like our kind of stories. And he looks to Hector, one person telling a story. This is not on Broadway. Anyways, let's go get your kid.
With that, you proceed to sneak ever further inward. And at the point going upstairs, up one of the spiral columns, you find yourself at the doorstep, Mallory, of your old room. You know this for sure. Without a doubt, unequivocally. As you can see that etched on the sides, ever so slightly, seems to be Mallory's height while they were still here. The door does seem to be unlocked, and there is a light underneath, and you can see ever so slightly there is a shadow moving forward. But the thing that I think you focus on more divides between this room you have not been in for a very long time and the sound of your son playing with some sort of toy.
Mallory will reach up for a second, like she's going to touch the etchings of her previous heights, and looks back at the others with a mix of, I don't think they've seen her look quite this helpless. She's terrified. Because in her mind, she's failed Enid once. She doesn't want to fail him again.
Hector touches your shoulder. And he looks to you with a firmness, but an understanding firmness. Enid needs you. And you need him. This is your right. On your terms. Be the steps we take forward. He's your son. You must be strong now.
You ready for anything?
Yes. To the depths of Tartarus we were, and now we're here. whatever they throw at us.
Her face will soften. Couldn't
Eyes
do
on a
this
swivel.
one. All right. And she will turn to the door and open it.
As the creak of the wood begins to open, you see the light that emanates from this room is that of the hearth that is lit on fire with its bluish green flame. Enid is wearing more traditional Greek, as they are playing on what seems to be just a couple of blocks that they're messing with. But that's not the interesting part. The interesting part is the caretaker. As you once again see Katerina, the Oracle. They are wearing similar garbs to what usually is associated with the Oracle Delphi. They are currently blindfolded. And you see there seems to be a roaring black hole that is emanating these chains that keeps them tethered. Their skin golden light looks over to you and whispers, well, if it isn't the Doomsayers, it's a pleasure to see you again. How you doing? You look unwell.
I thought you got away.
I did not. You see they slowly get up as the chains follow suit. I've been here, and I've understood a lot more things now. Now that my mortal vestige is gone, I can see everything. Do not worry
happened?
yourself. I know you think I may raise the alarm for your child, but I saw this come to pass.
So you won't fight us?
No. I'm here to direct you to where your anger should be pointed to. And to fill in the holes for this mystery murderer of ours.
Why help us? You have been well within your right to resent us.
For the majority of my life, I thought I was a main character. A sort of person of importance. But upon my death, I realized the Oracle is never at the center of the story. They are merely on the sideline to help heroes and legends.
And speak their doom. You call us Doomsayers, but why should we do what you say?
Because if you want to save your love, your wife, and your father, you will listen to my words.
You have our attention.
You see they begin to slowly unfold their eyes as it glows bright and not necessarily blinding you, but acting more like projectors as hard light constructs begin to to form and give vestige. You understand the story behind the frame. But did you not care to ask who made them? Why they were made?
Another weapon, right?
Not a weapon, but essentially a crown. To be a god among gods. There's only one person that we all know who has the appetite for such a device. It begins to form, and the image of Zeus begins to form. Zeus did not like being forgotten, to being left in the tomes of books. So the Project Prometheus was their brainchild. They managed to convince the council to form it. And even got Pandora to make. You see, the frame is quite simple in design. To you, it may seem complicated, like many mechanisms going together and doing its thing, but simply, it is her box turned inside out. As you see, it unfolds itself, and rather than keeping in the horrors, preventing them from escaping, they turned a prison into a siphon. Each frame made by their father, Hephaestus, as an emergency failsafe in case the bad things got out. But after a couple tinkering and a couple things, they made it to not only absorb bad thing, but to empower its wielder. Now Pandora, being the person that they were, found out about the true intentions of this weapon and tried their best to hide it. The Doomsayers at the time, led by your father, Hade, were ordered by the tribunal to find this weapon. Pandora pleaded like they always do, but in the end, your father was a man who understood order, and with it, turned Pandora in. There was a trial. There was hearings and prosecutions. But none of them truly believed Pandora's woes. Siphons of doom. So in the ultimate sacrifice, as it shows an image of Pandora flipping the courthouse table and reaching with all their might to the box. They use the device. And almost like black sand begins to absorb inward. You see other divine beings caught in the blast have the entire life force essence absorbed into this frame. And then you see Pandora trying their best to hold it in, unable to let go. As you see their golden light begins to be mixed with this blackish ooze that corrupts and corrodes before it lights itself on fire and begins to burn their very essence. Pandora made the tribunal fear the power they created and managed to stop Zeus from unleashing the weapon. They broke the frame up into 3 parts, separated it to wherever they thought it would be safest. One on the mortal plane with Apollo, one in the underworld, and one with the protector of the heart, if you will. They froze Pandora's body, put it on ice, as even touching it could burn a divine being. But the thing they didn't account for was the spirits it drew in. You think you are fighting only your lover, Dramaki, and Achilles. It is much bigger than that. You're not fighting these people, you're fighting Troy itself. Every man, woman, and child slaughtered that night. All in a cube. All within a vessel of a body. Now the thing is, they cast all of that information, all those resources away into the darkest pits of anywhere within the realms of magic. But for some reason, it got out. And all those souls, all that pain, all that misery, puppets Pandora's body. But the thing is, it can't keep it up for much longer. A divine body is powerful, but a dead one is not as sufficient. Like a battery, half empty. It needs to complete itself. And that, where you come in. You want to save your beloveds. It's quite simple. You have to finish the frame. And, do a good old Control-Z. Filter out the souls to make them pure again.
How do we do that?
When the frame is finished, the inscriptions Pandora left, as instructions on how to properly use the device, will form. Only with the fully formed frame, all 3 together, will you be able to understand not only how to do its basic functions, but all its other functionalities, abilities. One of which is the reverse button. And only you can get 3rd frame. I have foreseen it. Eyes close, wrap it around their head again, and proceed towards Ennd. That is the truth of your so-called murderer, of your Troy.
Hector's head hurts from the sheer quagmire the Prince of Troy has found himself in. Between the resurrection of Troy within this vessel, the machinations of Zeus, and a more problematic part, Athena's involvement in all of this. his promise and oath to her, and what the oracle tells him he must, or what must come to pass.
Patroclus is experiencing 3 distinctly different feelings all at the same time. The first is, for the very first time since the day he died, someone has actually given him what he has been running around the world threatening to burn it all down just to get. A lead. A lead on how to get Achilles. Really meaningfully know where he is. So there's relief. The second one, as he looks down at his hands, at all of the strange little marks of devotion, of the times that he, as a reverent man, dropped cinders on his hand from burning pyres to the gods that never did a damn thing for him when he was alive. And he feels fury rise inside of him for every oath, every prayer he ever sent to them. Because as he has learned, the gods are selfish. And the last one, the one that is tinged with a lifetime of being left out, a lifetime of being an and or an afterthought. For the very first time ever, after living in the shadow of the words of oracles and proclamations from the gods, an oracle has a proclamation for him. And for the first time in his life, Patroclus feels like he was actually the hero everyone says he is. That stings.
What about you, Mallory? How are you feeling?
Mallory has been spending every moment since she tried to pull, I think, Merrick off of Ricky, feeling as if she's in over her head. And I think for the first time, she knows this is something only she and they can do. She knows, for the first time she has kind of the advantage. And it's a weird feeling. That mixed with she hasn't taken her eyes off of Enid since they came into the room, even with the whole explanation of what's going on. And I think for the first time she feels the weight of, this is so much bigger than me. This is so much bigger than doing this for Enid. I think she's finally starting to feel I'm trying to think of a word for it, but I guess in charge in a way, responsible, I think. Responsible for all those lives, for all those people. And for the 2 men in the room with her.
With that, you see they pick up the child, walk slowly towards you. This next part, I have not foreseen, Mal. Your child's future is beyond my sight. So is yours. So is yours. So is yours. Someone at some point will stop the madness. But on what terms I do not know, and by whose hands I do not know. But your concern right now is to leave here, is to hand over Enid to you.
He will fully embrace him.
Very much teething on something at the moment.
Still holding him close, convincing herself he's here. He's right here. He's here and he's okay. He's here.
What about you?
I have fulfilled my duties. I think it is time I finished my duty. I've lived on this earth a long time. And it is time for me to be reincarnated once more. I will die. And another will be born.
May the world be kinder to the next one.
Thank you.
It is. As you see, they slowly begin to get back into their chair, watching the flames. Understand this, Doomsayers. You were chosen out of falsehood, out of skullduggery and cunning. But you all share a pain that makes you really the only ones for this job. To be a Doomsayer isn't to inflict pain. It's to relieve it. I suggest you remember those words when it comes time for you to judge others. Now, I suggest you should leave. The Furies smell.
Let's move.
And Hector, like, in this moment, sees that Mallory is, like, holding Enid, rips off his jacket, and ties it around you like a mother's swaddle.
Like that. Mm-hmm.
While that's happening, Merrick stops at the door and stands rail straight, holds his shield forward and his spear straight up and down, every image the hoplite that he was trained to be. And he bows respectfully before leaving.
And with that, as you run down, this is a great place to take our break here, folks. So with that in mind, we'll be right back. So go over to Banyo, grab yourself a snack, and we'll be right back. See you soon.
Alright, I forgot to do that.
Hello, everyone. We're back. So with that, let's get back into it, shall we? As you are this point, are you rushing or are you still stealthing? What's the point here?
Maybe we should get out of here fast. I don't know how the other two are feel. They gotta know we're here at this point since we are attacking in 3 different locations. Attacking being the loose term. We're causing fuckery and shenanigans in 3 locations. We should probably be fast.
So rushing it?
I think Merrick's the first one at the door, and also he's like suddenly going, the frame, super important. Need that to get Achilles. Worried that I sent 2 people that I don't trust
2 of the
to where
worst
that is.
people possible.
Yeah.
To do
And so
this.
he's moving pretty fast, and he's assuming the others are right behind him.
Oh yeah.
Shit, goddamn it.
Yeah, goddamn fucking Eris, goddamn it, Athena, fuck.
My ex just had to come into town. Just with that, as you guys are running at this point, running, and at this point, where are you specifically going? Are you going towards where the exit is? Are you trying to go back in the direction where Eris and Athena went? Where are you going exactly? Is my question.
I think
Set found
Patroclus
the.
is... Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think Set found. Did we see Set finding
Set,
the?
yeah, Set found the portals, which is essentially backstage, what it looks like, or maybe part of the front. You don't know, but you know it's like in that direction. So you know where the exit is, and you know the direction in which they went. You don't know exactly where they went, Eris and Athena. So.
But they have to go to the exit to leave.
Yeah.
So they gotta leave.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I think because he saw Set going, that's where Patroclus is going. He's going to where the portals are, knowing that if they want to leave with the frame, and Eris wants to do whatever the fuck they're up to, they have to leave, in theory. So Patroclus also would like to leave the underworld.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And,
so with
yeah.
that, oh,
And
sorry,
as,
what do you
as
say?
we're as we're rushing, Hector, as distressed as he is tethered together by purpose. We are united in the purpose of freeing the ones we love. And Hector says to us, the group, it would be best if the goddess did not learn of what we had just learned. We should behave as if we weren't told what we were told by the Oracle.
I'm not in the mood to trust any child of Zeus.
You see this conflict in the prince's eyes, but nods. Come, must get the boy safe.
With that, running. At this point, you guys get to the floor, trying to sneak your way through, as you sort of go to the side. As you turn around the corner, finding yourself at the precipice of like maybe stage left or right, not too sure at the moment, but on one of the stages, you can see that behind the curtain seems to be a whole production, but primarily you see what looks like to be like these large mirror-esque doorways that lead to different places. You see upper plane, lower plane, but the one you're more concerned with, mortal plane. But as you're looking about and sort of getting a feel of what's going on, you hear, Mallory! Show yourself! I know you're in here. Not for me! Be a shame if I did something with Ricky's soul. Or Shade in this instance.
She will look to the others like, let me just, like, what does he want? And did he tie her to the front or the back? Tie
He-
tie him to the front or the back of her?
front.
Front? Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So she'll kind of like pat Enid's head and walk. I guess if we were backstage, would she be walking on stage? I guess?
Yes, he is in the front of the
Yeah.
stage, which you can sound that.
All right, so she enters stage. No, I'm kidding. But she does step onto the stage.
Entering through, you see he holds something by its neck, but it's rather like this formless, shapeless shade of an individual. And while it doesn't look like Ricky, it does feel like it. As you see, he holds it just the back of it, not necessarily not choking it out, but like holding it in place. And then you can see that in very fast they've set up a whole audience of shades watching you as this light goes on your face. I'm happy you can join us, Queen of the Damned, along with the Prince. Very happy that I can reunite you with someone you love.
Don't act like you're doing any favors. What is this, Orpheus?
Oh, please, you're doing me the favor. You have no idea, as he sort of goes about, how long I've waited for this. The planning, the plotting, being your father's best friend in order to get what I wanted.
They never sent you.
Who?
Anyone. This was on you.
How smart. I'm surprised it took you a long while to figure it out. Nobody's ruling this place. Who the hell would send me? Once again, proving to be your father's daughter.
As this is happening, Patroclus looks to Hector.
Mm-hmm.
And he just points one direction, expecting Hector to look the other direction
Mm-hmm.
as he starts to turn to flank whatever is going on
Oh,
here.
yeah. Hector sees your conspiratorial look. Starts walking. Very trepidatiously.
So for my question, are you going one side, or are you going on both one way?
Yep.
Split.
Pincer.
Yeah,
Okay.
pincer. We're hoplites. We
We're
we have a thing we
we're
do.
doing
Gotcha,
hoplite
gotcha.
things.
Square formation. Gotcha. And what's that? You know, I was there the day you were born, and I saw the light in your father's eye. The way he and Persephone never thought they would have a child again, and yet you popped out. That love he felt, even though he was on the rocks with his wife, the love they had for you was extraordinary. I love someone the same way. I tried to get them and I failed. Because I looked back. The insanity of that choice has haunted me for some time, but in that madness I found clairvoyance, patience, repetition. That is what gets a soldier to their goals. Took a fucking while, because I had to get pieces without your father looking, but then he died. And then made my life a whole lot easier until I found out, in order to get what I want, I need somebody and something they love. Kinda hard to do that. Nobody down here really loves anything anymore. But then you, the fucking wonder that you are, had a baby with this thing. And I saw the same spark your father had. So now, you're gonna pay me what I'm owed.
You doing with your monologue? Good. What is it you want?
Your lives for mine. To be with my love. My Eurydice. And there's only one way I can get that.
And that would be.
Well, now that you mention it, snaps his finger. And in this instance, you see forming underneath you a light begins to form as you see a hex of some sort underneath both you and the child you are carrying. Forms up, forming a cage. Lightning begins to... And as the curtains unveil, you see a makeshift, almost like mountainside, going up towards the light. And as you see, as that energy happens, something of a purple portal begins to open up front. I'm gonna do this again. And this time, I'm not gonna fail. Have a wonderful afterlife. This place can be great if you let it be. And at this moment, he begins to walk up to escape the underworld.
No.
Nope. He does
Hector,
not.
why don't you Hector, why don't you lead this dance?
Hector looks at Orpheus with the keen eye of a commander. And as he holds up his spear, holds it aloft to throw it onto Orpheus's leg to pin him down, he yells out, "Break the hex and we free her! Now!" And we'll unleash violence.
All right, you can do that here. So you're going toe to toe.
Yup.
Merrick, what are you doing?
Merrick's doing what he's told. Break the hex. So, he comes running out of the shadows of the wings of this stage that is now all lit up. And originally, it's easy to see that his spear was also pointed at Orpheus. Tired of this sad man's monologue. If you're going to cry about your lost love, do something about it. And he has his arm fully back and ready to throw. And then he sees Hector loose his spear just a moment before, and hearing this, wields around to see Mallory and Enid and this hex. And he is going to run towards it and try and do something whack and maybe kind of stupid, especially as a shade in this place. But he would like to tangle his Myrmidon spear into the weave of this hex and try and rip it.
Fantastic. Face danger. I think it's a good thing here. So
Yeah.
facing danger there. I guess Mallory, what are you doing in this instance? As you won't necessarily have a turn yet, but I'm just very curious so we can expedite that there. So what are you gonna do after these two do their turn?
There it is. Let me think about it. But I think upon hearing that they're a moving, she's gonna kind of wait to see, because this is kind of their domain.
Yeah, I would say if anything, what you're feeling is that you feel the living essence of you is beginning to desaturate. You can see visibly for the other ones that Mallory begins to lose the color that they have, almost like if they're being inverted or desaturated into sort of a blackish white. And you do notice that the same thing is happening to Enid as well, as they are becoming one with this place.
Gonna get you.
So with that, I'm gonna go to Hector first. What are you doing?
I am evoking Dominant Duelist, Poised Against
Okay.
Doom, Agile Hoplite, and I get to use my new power tag now, Commander's Sharpened Strategy, Venerated Protector, Spearmanship, and Wrathful Spear for a +7.
All right. If you fail this is on you, buddy.
It's on me.
This is on you. This is all you. You failed
Okay.
this. I'm sorry.
That's a 14 total.
14 total. All right, fantastic. Ba-ba-da-ba-da.
And like Hector pulls the spear, launches it onto Orpheus's leg, and as it like pins Orpheus down, he will start like marching over to Orpheus with his shield, and he's just like, "What would you know, Bard of War?"
So achieve your goal. What's the other thing? Either you put the
I
status
want to
or
defend.
dodge.
I want to
Defend?
be able to
Okay,
dodge.
fantastic. Gotcha. Merrick, what did you get? Or what are we rolling here? What do we got here?
We're doing Rage Against Destiny because this is a fucked up destiny that someone has in mind for Mallory and Eden,
Yeah.
and that's not okay. Voyager of the Underworld. This is my place, baby. I spent a lot of time down here too. Guardian of the Devoted. Rot in War. Myrmidon Armaments and Rend the Threads.
Listen, Mallory, you got two of the baddest motherfuckers with you.
Oh, my dice tried it though.
know
But
it.
that's an 11.
11. Fantastic. So, with that in mind, you throw the spear, goes into the leg. He doesn't necessarily give a big, loud pain of, but almost like a wince, as it does kind of pin him down, but he's able to pull the spear out. For you, Merrick, as you're going aside, you are very much, it's still going to take time, especially the way you're doing it isn't necessarily magical. So at this point, you understand the hex is drawn on the floor. So at this point, you are like manually sort of just ripping these things out, trying to tear into the planks to rip all of these sigils out. Because as you see, you pop the first one, isn't enough. It isn't like, if it's incomplete, oh, it's done. You could see that it is very much deep in the soil here. It needs to be all out before you can get Mallory out of there.
Then
As
he
you
will
see what's
dig.
going- Yep. And then before my lovely boy goes, actually, you know what? I think he's gonna go first before Mallory. Gives you a little bit more time there, Mallory. In this instance, you see Orpheus. Look at you, Hector. Saw your wife, lovely person. And with that, you see tattoos that are on his neck begin to form a solid mass. And these bones begin to elongate. And you see almost like a projection forming around him like an exoskeleton. It's this large skeletal looking creature with eyes, bright brain, green. I may be a bard, you sick son of a bitch, but let me sing you a song so you can go to sleep. Put puts his first fist, but you are dodging, so negates it in that instance there. Going off to the side. And with that, he's going to continue making his way up as he is able to pull this thing out. He is approximately, if you're thinking of this in fourths, he's getting to the halfway point. You kind of was making a trek up, so he's about halfway to the portal. You do notice that he isn't necessarily running, as it seems to be a process. It isn't just him bolting. You see that as he goes higher and higher, more whispers of energy, more light goes towards him. The brighter the portal goes, the more Mallory loses. He said he's taking his second chance, and that's exactly what he's doing. Not looking back. So in this moment, Mallory, what are you doing in this instance?
So, is there, I guess, like, is there a way to determine how the hex works? Because ideally, she would like to at least get Enid out of it if she can, but if it specifically traps both of them.
I would say, just for expediency's sake, looking about it, you can see that it is both of you trapped inside. He said he needed somebody that not only rules here, but something they love. Because he lost something he loves, and he was given a deal by somebody who ruled here. He's very much trying to rewrite his story right now, with you and your child as his replacement. You do understand that if this is completed, you cannot leave here. You will be forever stuck here, without any way to be able to be in the mortal plane permanently.
I have a weird thought, but I also am not 100% sure of the legend. It might be too weird of a thought. I don't know. But
do it, man.
Do it.
Is there
Be weird.
and
Do it.
divination and talk to a maybe a specific you're gonna see.
This, you can, I feel that if anything, this is a change the game in this instance here. If you're trying to pull on your power to, or anything, I actually, you know what, no, I think this is, I'm going to change it. Hit it with all you got, I think it's a better one. As you are really having to pull through like a catalog of so many shades here to find a specific person. So I will say this is going to be a hit with all you got.
Okay.
I'm giving you expert advice. Poise amidst doom. So you have one power tag.
I will also take They're My World, because this is a lot of this is for Enid. Unfinished Business. Take It to the Grave. Can I use contacts again? Or
Say again?
can I use Underworld contacts again?
No, we
No,
burned
you
it,
used
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
I
we
will
burned
say
it.
also, I'm going to give you -2 for this because you don't feel anything anymore. And also, Death has its eye on you.
Dang, that's totally fair. All right, so we'll go with that because control movement doesn't really apply here. So yeah, we'll go with that. Let's do it. Okay. That is not good. That is a 5.
Five.
Oh, that's bad.
I need you to take a status here of 3 as you get, I'm going to say partially drained. As you are trying to use your power, you notice that the more you try in this instance, the easier it is to absorb. It's almost like a sponge in a sense, as you feel your magic being pulled away. As you guys see that Mallory loses almost about like half their color in this instance.
Stop, 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 stop.
Damn it. I think she'll just kind of like
Get you out
look
of
at Enid. She's just like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Like, just looking.
Half of his color is gone. In this instance, Hector and Merrick, what are you guys doing at this point as you see Orpheus going up? You can keep trying, but if anything, you two shall understand. Love's a powerful motivator.
Shut up! You had your
Make me.
goddamn chance! You had your chance! Live with it! And Hector is going to leap onto Orpheus like a goddamn monkey and like pull him like back to, because right now the choice is between freeing Mallory, which he's too far away to do, or slowing down Orpheus. So he's gonna slow down this man's path with every fiber of his being.
I will
So
say
he's
-3
grappling
now for him because he's pulled up his skeletal structure, which gives you a little bit more support. So -3 to whatever
-3?
you're doing here.
Sounds good. Alrighty, I'm invoking Dominant Duelist, Poised Amidst Doom, Agile Hoplite, Commander Sharpened Strategy, Venerated Protector, well, I'm not using my spear, so Prince of Troy, Wrathful Spear, and can I use that? I'm bringing glory to Troy from learning from my past, so that's a +4.
+4. All right, let's do it.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay. That's a 10. That's okay.
10. Same thing as here. Do you want to achieve your goal, or you want to inflict status? Do you want to dodge? What you're doing here?
I want to achieve my goal, and I
Okay.
want to inflict a status.
What you inflicted?
I want to inflict hampered. So I want to hamper his movement.
Fantastic. Sort of. Oh, you know, Hector, I always found you fucking annoying.
Well, that makes the both of us.
Fucking wife guys. With that, Merrick, what are you doing?
Seeing Mallory lose color and Enid begin to lose color. Merrick, who's never been particularly outwardly protective like Hector of Mallory or Enid at all, that glow comes back, and this time it's strange. It's like seeing this red glow overtake almost a marble statue of a hero, because he looks every bit this heroic figure from the Battle of Troy. But that glow rises up his neck, pulsing out of his chest, and his eyes go pure gold, and that wolf rises in him as he gets tired of trying to use a tool like a myrmidon would, and instead is going to embrace the fact that he is also a descendant of King Lycan, and dogs are very good at digging. And he throws the spear down, it bursts into gold dust, and his hands elongate as his long claws return as the Vrikolakos of Lycan just begins to dig into this sigil as hard as he can.
Dope. Facing danger again. You'd be so kind.
Sure. Rage Against Destiny, Voyager of the Underworld, Body Remade by Ash and Mud, Carrion Dog, Guardian of the Devoted, Hunger for the Scraps of Destiny, Sated by Heroic Deeds, Rend the Threads.
I will say -1 for barely tamed at this moment, as you are
Real.
losing yourself ever so slightly.
Real. That's a +7. Which I needed. Wow.
Oh boy.
12.
12. Hey, that's right. So with that, you begin to. You got one more turn of this, and then you should be good as you're sort of ripping through about halfway through the sigil itself, and you'll be able to sort of maybe finish this thing off.
Cool.
With that in mind, it is now our lovely Orpheus' turn. Going through, he looks to you, Hector, grabs you by the neck. Again, very much of like, not just like choking, but more of like manhandling you, whispers in your ear, you know, you think you're still a princess, still a hero, but this is what they think of you. Giving you a tier 3 status of terrified, as you see he floods you with the vestige of all the souls that you killed. Any souls that are left behind, as they whisper in your ear, and your eyes almost like begin to become shaded black as you begin to have your vision slightly impaired. And before he throws you off to the side, suck on that for a while. Mallory, what are you doing in this instance? As you see, begins to make his way back up. What do
I'm
you think,
scared to
you
do
little
anything else.
You scared to- you don't- hey, not doing anything is a valid option if you don't. Hey, ... is a valid option.
Real.
This is kind of a last-ditch effort, so I think because she heard a voice before, and she recognized the voice, but decided to ignore it because she didn't want to believe it was one she was hearing. So I think she's going to call out to that voice.
I'm gonna need to stop holding back if you'd be so kind. So for this here, you are rolling whatever your logos is. If I'm not
So
mistaken.
however many logos. Yeah,
So I
how,
think
it's
you're-
however many logos tags you just, how many logos themes you just have.
I believe you have one or two. Is
Oh.
it two or
I have two.
you have two? All right, so two.
Mhm.
So roll that for me, please.
I'm so happy I changed dice. 10, 11, 12.
Well, what are you specifically doing, and what do you call out?
She says, if I swear to take the throne, will you stop?
You say that, hoping to whoever listens hears. And you see something jumps from the ramparts down. The same flame-like body, helmet dripping lava. As you see Troy slowly stands up. But its body is not that of Achilles, nor Andromache, but that of your father. As you see, they take one of their nearby spearheads that they use as a makeshift dagger and begin to cut into the hex. An extended hand to you, not with malice, but with comfort. Take my hand, Mallory.
And clutching Enid close with her other hand, she will.
Begin to take it. At this point, Orpheus goes, not looking back, but seeing the portal begin to... What are you doing? I thought we were on the same side, you jackass! I feel sorry for you, Orpheus. I should have never let you down here in the first place. I can still make it. You see, at this point, he begins to rush ever so slightly. Hector, I'm gonna need you here. You are the only one who could do anything about this. As you see, he's booking it on those last leg. If you mess this up, it's gonna be bad.
Can I
So what do
offer
you-
like an assist on this to like help him?
What are you doing?
I have a spear I can throw.
Okay. So you just got throw spears up.
I need
one.
a spear. I don't have one right now. That's
Gotcha.
true.
So with
Oh,
that,
perfect.
He
All
threw
yours,
mine.
bud.
So Hector, what are you doing? And -3 just from
Yeah,
base
from-
here. So,
yeah.
so what are you doing as you see a spear clutch in hand?
You just hear that whistle over the air and the throw.
And Hector, instinct, holds his hand up, grasps that thrown spear, and you see he just is panting. His eyes are so sapped with that darkness in his eyes of the faces of all the men he has ever killed, and he just begs the body he is in. Son, please. Just a little more for me. Push yourself a little more for your old man, please. And I will push this body, and I will hold this sphere aloft, and I'm going to aim using Patroclus' spear for Orpheus's neck.
Red.
Just
hit
like
me
he
with it.
did to
What are we using?
We're using
What are we
Goblin
using?
Duelist, Poised Amidst Doom, Agile Hoplite, Commander Sharpened Strategy, Veteran Protector, Prince of Troy, Spearmanship, a Wrathful Spear, and an Honorable Virtue and Bring Glory to Troy. That's 10.
So then minus so 7.
All right, we're gonna use the Troy dice. Let's go. Okay, that's great. 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 total.
With that, and almost like an impact frame, you launch your spear. It goes flying from your hand. You see Orpheus gets the portal, a shade of someone in it, almost like they're reaching for him, a smile on his face before turns around towards you as you see him bleeding from it. As he turns around again, he fails. Fuck you. As he falls off the edge. And as you're going around, you hear the sounds of the sirens. As you just killed the only person holding this place together.
Hector gets up and turns around. We gotta go.
We need the frame. Patroclus stands up and looks over Troy, seeing this new form, still kind of understanding and hearing all the words and the visuals that the Oracle has gifted them. Knowing that somewhere in there is his Achilles, and also a frame. And all he can think about very suddenly is Eris and Athena and that frame that isn't here yet. And he runs towards, he sees that Mallory and Enid are okay and just starts to run towards where he knows Set went.
In this instance, you run towards where Set is. You see the portal is open to the mortal plane. Seems to be some sort of forest on the outskirts of the city. But you don't see Set. You see Athena is on the other side trying to pound their way back in. And at this moment, you see Eris on the other side. Congratulations, Merrick. All of you, really. Now, I think you want this. As you see, they pull the frame from their hand. As you see, it is now combined with the first one.
He runs at the portal.
Hector's in hot pursuit.
For clarification, are you running towards the portal because you think the frame is? Because they're like they're not in the portal. I just want to let you know.
Oh.
That.
Where are
So
we
Eris,
standing?
very much so. So as you go in, you see that Athena has been pushed involuntarily back into the mortal plane. They can't re-enter.
Oh.
And you see Eris, along with Set, like a little sleazy henchman, is standing nearby with the frame in their hand.
Oh, then he's running at Eris.
Oh yeah, we're hoplites unite.
Before you all going up, and it goes, no need for violence, Merrick. It's simple. Mallory, you never wanted the throne. So, a simple offer. You hand over all titles, responsibilities, and powers of the underworld, and the frame is yours.
Don't do it.
You solve your problem with your child. The underworld will never be after you again, and it will be in the hands of people who actually care about what happens down.
You don't care about anything.
I care more than you think. The Furies are coming. You don't have too much options. So what is it, Mallory?
You're offering me everything I ever wanted.
No. I'm offering what you deserve. The sins of the father are not your sins. And your child will never be safe as long as that title remains over your head.
She will look once again to her companions, trying to get a read on their kind of expressions, because she's heard them say, like, don't do it.
Merrick is easy to read. He is pleading like a man who wears the face of all the people we've walked past in Ironport. Eris is the key to his jail, to his regret, to the weight that he wears around his neck that is outside of all the stuff to do with who he was before. Who he is now, the reason he is here and able to be on this hunt. He regrets all ties with Eris. He regrets ever helping them. And he doesn't trust her at all.
Hector looks to you with a fatherly helplessness. This is a choice you ultimately have to make on your own. His fears of Eris, his fears for this underworld and for you and for Enid, that doesn't matter anymore. This is your story, Mallory. And like Patroclus and himself, we made our choices. We made the path of destiny before us. It's your turn now.
And I think with one final glance towards Troy, now in the form of her father, she sighs. I'm sorry. I can't do that. All the sins of my father are not mine. I want to ensure that no one has to answer for any again. I will make this right. The throne is mine.
Same shit. And you see they throw the frame, bounces, and goes to the mortal plane as they begin to go and walk away from all of you. I hope we never meet again, because next time I will kill you, and it will not be quick. Set. Join me. Yes, mistress. Bye-bye, Doomsayers. Hope we never see each other again. Thanks for the breakout.
The hungry wolf snaps at the jackal as he leaves, and then runs after the frame.
Vroom. Everybody else following suit into the port.
Yep.
Vroom, vroom, vroom. All of you come out the side. Somewhere in a forest on the outside of the city, you feel cold once again. Color begins to revigorate every part of your soul, your clothes, and your body. Athena, almost like a person who's gone without drugs, hovels over the frame. Oh, thank goodness. And on the side, Troy comes out with you all. Looks over to all of you, but specifically to you, Mallory. You have made me proud, little one. No longer are you running away from the shadow. I'm proud. And your mother, if they were here, would say so too.
Get proud of me, yeah. I'm undoing everything you ever said. It will not happen again.
As is your right. And if you want to start, we need your help. I need you, Mallory. You see he begins to shift and form, looks over in the form of Achilles. I need you, Troctocles. And forms into a drama key. I need you, Hector.
No.
Wait, as their voices in unison. Need you.
You know.
Then let us get the last frame. Make us. Oh! And with that, you see something happens, and in this instance, they go dormant as like a statue. Get on one knee. The fire begins to dissipate until only a statue is left in this park. Flame of these spirits are dying, which means your loved one are dying. And that is where we shall end it for today. Yay! 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 Happy music!
The Trauma Man
As
is
you
back, folks.
Hey, never left. New year, new me. Soon,
Not
guys,
even the
soon.
new year
It's
yet.
not even the new year yet.
It's
you
time is a
motherfucker.
concept. Time is a construct. With that,
What
everyone.
is your resolution
thank
to
you.
not traumatize your players for 2025?
I make promises I know I can keep. With that in mind, thank you everyone for joining us for another thrilling episode of the Doomsayers. With that in mind, we're going to do plugs in reverse order, starting off with the lovely, lovely Hector. Hector, Val.
Sure thing. Hello, everybody. My name is Valiant Doran. I assume his pronouns. You can find me all on the internet, Valiant Doran, or also Spirit Bear. Please enjoy that lovely treasure I just set you on. Tonight, I had the distinct pleasure of playing Hector of Troy, father of a CNX, wife guy to his beloved wife Andromache. In terms of stuff for 2025, we're coming up to the new year. You can catch us next week on Transplanar RPG with the Chaos Protocol. I'm back as Sayer. I'm still a vampire. We're in the city of Inferno. Things are fine and normal and okay, I think. Maybe. Not really. But come and tune in for Arc 3 of the Chaos Protocol. I have a slew of projects happening in 2025, including an upcoming lore dive and theory crafting show. Casting is about to be announced soon. I was taken out by an illness, but the cast will know soon that they are cast. And yeah, if you liked all the feral stuff that Kai was doing today, you might like my game. It's called The Beast Within. You can grab the quick start guide now over on my itch page and just keep an eye on my socials for all my cool stuff. With that, I'm gonna pass it on over to the mom of the hour, Calamity.
Hello, I'm Calamity. Today I played Queen Mallory of the Underworld. You can find me all over the internet as Hey Calamity with 3 Y's at the end. You can also find work I do at the production group I'm part of and founded called Telltale Hearts. We have a lot of stuff that we're planning for 2025, so definitely keep an eye out on those socials. Though following me, I will be sharing all that. So if you just want to follow that, that's fine. But you should totally follow Telltale because we also like to share the projects that other people are doing and promoting marginalized creators all over the space. Yeah, I don't think anything else I'm gonna be a part of has been announced yet. So that's me. I'll pass it over to Kai.
Hi everyone, I'm Kai. You can find me all over the internet as Estella Vimladris, where I do a lot of this, making mess, gay problems. You can find me on Saturday with Val over on Transplanter RPG in the Chaos Protocol, where I am also playing a vampire named Mr. Zynon Esh. Who doesn't love a cowboy vampire who's being a complete nightmare person just for fun? And then you can also find me in the new year on a lot of projects. I will be continuing over on Happy Jacks RPG, where we're playing Mouse Ritter in a game called What About Bob's, where I'm literally playing like a Sean Connery mouse. Because why not? And a bunch of unannounced projects. And maybe you've heard my voice in a promo for something coming up for Tender Vicious Studios in the new year. And there's a bunch of other stuff. So keep an eye out. Go follow Tender Vicious. They're on all the social media platforms. Transplanter RPG. And follow me. And I'll see you around. Happy New Year, everyone.
And with that leaves me. Hello, I was your humble and no way problematic GM MC for these preceding evenings. You can find me on the socials. I'm more on Blue Sky these days. At VO Cologne. It's COLON. I'm still on Twitter a bit at VO_Cologne. So if you don't see me there, then I'm out there. In terms of what's going on, or hopefully trying to finish these bad boy out. So Sundays, Doomsayers as always. And hopefully next week we will go into the last act of the Stewart's War. So next month we'll be finishing out our shows, hopefully. So yeah, we're working on more stuff. So we got some good stuff coming to you in the new year. But with that in mind, thank you for joining us for another wonderful episode of the Doomsayers, and we can't wait to see you next week for another thrilling, heart-pounding, and stress-inducing episode of the Doomsayers. Until then, everyone, bye-bye and have a happy new year!